Hello everyone, have you ever felt like your storage system is just one chest monster away from popping your totem? Introducing to you the ultimate bulk storage system. It sorts your loot faster than a baby zombie on caffeine and keeps your chest cleaner than a villager's trade history after a discount raid. Today we take back control. Stick around and I'll show you how to build a storage system so good, even a wandering trader would stop trying to scam you. I got a lot to cover, so let's get into the build. So to get started, I cleared out an area that was 50 by 50 by 15 deep. In order to accommodate the 3 different storage systems I wanted to put in this area. So the first of these 3 storage systems is a bulk item sorter. I'm going to start with a simple 3 high design. When I actually designed mine, it's 5 high, but you can make it as high or as small as you want. So once you have 3 double chests on top of each other like this, go ahead and place some hoppers going into the back of each one of those. And then on our top chest, right in front of our hopper, go ahead and place a temporary block. And then coming off that, go ahead and place a hopper going into that. Now on top of that hopper, we can add some temporary blocks and then remove a few. And this is going to be your line where the items flow into this storage system. Place a block coming off your top chest and hopper. A comparator on top of that block. Block off of that comparator. Piece of glass. A temporary block here. And a temporary block here. And then 2 blocks coming off of those temporary blocks. And when you're finished, you'll have something that looks like this. You can add a repeater here, pointing towards the chests, a redstone torch here, and then 3 pieces of redstone. Because of the resource pack that I'm using, you can see that this hopper is locked, preventing any items to go into this storage area. So the way to get it to sort is to go to the hopper above the locked one, place in 4 blocks that you either rename or 4 blocks you will not use in the bulk sorting area, and then add 41 of what you want to be sorted. So in this case, I'm going to use white wool. So every time a piece of white wool passes through this line, this hopper is going to open up and turn on and grab that piece of white wool to sort it into these chests. And I can show you how this works. If I place a chest at the end here, and this could be your temporary overflow chest. And if this is your input chest, we went ahead and placed sticks, some wool, and some redstone in here. All the sticks will go past this into the overflow area, along with the redstone in the bottom chest, because this opened up and all the items flew into here, your 18 pieces of white wool. Remember, you can make this as big as you want. I'm going to make mine 5 high. Let's move into the next item sorter that I'm going to put in my storage system. Leo?
What?
Welcome back to the channel. How you been?
I'm doing good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Means you're making a mess. Oh, sorry. Ow! Hey, okay. Let's get started on this. So, we're going to work on a multi-item storage area. Okay, so we're going to put down a couple of chests. The chests have to face like this instead of like that. I'm going to go through and put maybe like 5 here, I think. And make sure you have this 1 block gap behind your chest once you set them up this way. I'm going to give you some chests and you can help me build this 5 high, okay? Oh, it's so nice to have you back on the video. Glad you could make it today.
Yeah. Today, no school.
No school. Yeah. All right, we're going to head to the back side of these chests that we just placed. And on our left side of our chests, we're going to place hoppers going into the chest all the way to the top. Now that we have our hoppers, now we're going to get a dropper. And we're going to start at the bottom, right? So put one in there like that. You got that? See how I put it in and it's facing you in the sky?
Like that?
Yep. Now we're going to stand on top of it and put all the way to the top. Okay?
Crouching?
Yes. And then once you're at the top, you should look like this. All right. So now I got to do that to each one. There you go. So we actually don't need this one here. I put this one. I shouldn't have put that one in here. So I got to get rid of that one. We're going to take a hopper and we're going to crouch and we're going to place it going into the bottom dropper. Just like that. You see? See how that little arrow's pointing into there?
Oh.
All into the bottom ones. Come to the top here. Crouch. And place chest just like this all the way across. So now let me show you how this works. Is this dropper, the items are going to come into here. It's going to go all the way up to the top into this chest, and then it's going to filter down through these hoppers. And when it finds where it needs to go, it'll go. And if it's not there, it'll go into this hopper, back into this dropper, and all the way back up. And it'll continue to do this process up and down, up and down, up and down until everything is sorted. So let's hook up this redstone so that we can show you how it works. Let me get some wool. All right, so I've taken 2 additional rows to show you this so it looks better on the video, but you don't need to clear that out. So we're going to add a row of blocks here, okay?
Okay.
All the way to the end, just like that. And then we're going to put down a temporary block and add another row. So could you put
I want to see
temporary block, then some wool. And then what you'll notice is that when you're done, take this out of here, the top row of our blocks is one below our top row of our chests. We're going to take our redstone torches and we're going to put them on the behind the hoppers. So like there and there and there. Now you see all those hoppers are now locked.
like this one.
This is a hopper, so put a hopper there, right? And then one right above it. Go ahead. And one above that, right? And then you got all 3. Now I do the next one. All right, now the next fun part. You ready? And we're going to put a block on each dropper. This, ready? Block,
Oh my.
block. Make sure you crouch because you'll go into the interface if you don't. Now I got to do the other 2 rows. So we got all that done. The blocks we just put in, stick down a repeater on each one. There you go. So I'm going to give you some redstone.
Bro, I hate redstone.
You hate redstone. Come on. Redstone's your favorite.
No.
And
I
then
like,
just put it all on the white blocks.
like all of it, the whole thing.
Yes, all 3 rows.
Like this one,
Fill them up.
like that one.
Yes, sir. Do it up.
Oh, like this.
There you go. And one more and then fill them all up. Oh, now that was the easy part, Leo. Now we got to do the
Yeah.
hard part. So I'll work on the hard part. You ready?
Yeah.
What we have to do is set up a clock so that the clock turns it on and off to
How
move
you
the
doing
items
that?
up and down the hoppers and droppers.
How are you doing that with
The first thing we're going to do is place a dropper going into that dropper. Now we can add a comparator, a block, place redstone here, put down another block of wool. We're going to add a repeater and we're going to put 4 ticks delay on that. Then we're going to add a piece of redstone here. And then we're going to add a target block right next to our dropper. Stick down a target block here. And then coming off that target block, we're going to put a redstone torch. Next, build a staircase up so we can connect all the redstone all the way
the top?
up this. And it should light them all up. Everything's lit, right? Yep. Everything is powered. Just like we want it.
Like one of those over
Yep. We put something in here. Everything should turn on and off. So we're putting our granite in. There it goes.
there?
You see it working? So now in order for this to work, you have to fill in all these slots on all of these chests. Basically what you have to do is have every chest look like this. So I'm going to go ahead. I'll put the granite in and you'll see now it's starting to work. It's going to push all that granite and then it's going to start to organize it right in here just for us, just like that. You really got to have something in there to clean out this system. Otherwise, it's going to get stuck. So that's going to require us to also build another clock to flush out the system. Okay, so we cleared out this little section here. We're going to go ahead and place down a block here, temporary block here and here, and then 2 pieces of wool on top of those temporary blocks. Now we can add a repeater here on 4 ticks delay. So hit it 3 times. Redstone torch here, piece of redstone right here. And that creates a clock. I'm going to remove this block and place a lantern on it like that. So now that's the light. When that's on, I know that the system's getting flushed, so I can place a lever and turn off the system. So now that the system's off, the light's on, I know that it's not getting flushed out. And all you got to do here is connect this redstone into this, but you don't want this block to turn on. So you got to put down a target block with a redstone torch coming off that target block and then a piece of redstone dust here. And what that's going to do now when I turn the switch on, clears the system out for us.
Yeah, it looks like the power's coming out.
Right? Pretty
Yeah.
cool. Now I'm going to add like 15 more rows of chests to finish off my multi-item sorter. And we are ready to move into our final type of item storage. But before we head into that, I just want to say, great job, Leo. Thanks for all your help, bud.
Yeah, a lot of people will notice me.
I appreciate it.
How many views you will get?
1,000 viewers because of you.
I think 1 million.
And our final storage area is going to be the Allay non-stacking item sorter. So to get started, we're going to put down a double chest facing long ways, just like our bulk storage system. And you can add as many as you want. I'm going to place down 10 rows of these chests. Now go ahead and place a hopper on the back of those chests, going from the top down into it, just like this. Now the input for this item sorter is going to be water. We're going to have to put in a water stream. So to do that, we're going to place some glass blocks, and you can use any blocks you want, but I like to see it. So right behind our chest, we can add a row of glass blocks like this. We can place down a temporary block, add a glass block above that, and then run a row of glass right off that temporary block. We'll put those 2 blocks in and then add 2 more blocks here and 2 here. And then over here, we're just going to add our overflow chest with a hopper going into the chest like that. Then go ahead and place a button on top of that hopper. And we're going to place a dropper here at the very end. Now we can get in crouch mode and place a bucket of water coming off the hopper. Now, depending on where your water stream ends and how big you make this, you're going to go ahead and take the first block after the end of the water stream, take that out, and replace it with some packed ice. Stick a button on that, and then place down another bucket of water here. We can grab our glass and just close this off so none of our items float away. Now we're going to come directly behind our first hopper and chest, add a temporary block on top of that glass, and then a note block coming off of that temporary block. And then from there, we'll add 2 pieces of wool to that note block. You'll have to crouch to place it. And then a note block again. And we'll continue this 2 pieces of wool and note block until the very end. So one of the reasons we do that is so that the sound travel doesn't affect each Allay as they're next to each other. We're going to add a row of temporary blocks across the top of our wool and note blocks. And then on those temporary blocks, add a slab to the top half of them, just like this. Now hop up there and add another row of temporary blocks. And then we're going to add a piston looking down into that block. Finally, go ahead and place a button on that piston. All right, now we're going to surround our area where we're going to put our Allay in with some solid blocks. Crouch down and place a rail on top of your hopper. Place a minecart on top of that rail. Now go ahead and toss the same items that the Allay is holding. As this happens, the Allay is going to go retrieve them. And when it gets close enough to the minecart, it'll get trapped inside. You may have to remove this block here. Now go ahead underneath the minecart, remove that rail. Come out 3 blocks. And go ahead and climb up there. Now go ahead and remove the minecart. Don't worry about hurting the Allay. And press the button. Now you've trapped your Allay inside of the minecart. Go ahead and remove all the dirt blocks. Then once your Allay is trapped in there, you can take the item back off of the Allay. And we'll continue to do this with the rest of the Allays to get them all in their homes. Now that all the Allays are in place, let's hook up the redstone. Go behind your Allay storage system. Place down a temporary block. And a hopper looking into that temporary block. And then we'll remove that and place a hopper going into that hopper so that they're facing each other. Next, we're going to place a redstone block in front of our first hopper, a sticky piston here, and another sticky piston here. Now we can run a comparator coming off of both hoppers, repeater off of both of those comparators, and then redstone to connect to each of the pistons. Once we're done with that, go into the hopper and add 4 items. And now we've got a 3-second clock that will continuously run. And if you want to shut that 3-second clock off, all you need to do is add a lever here and turn it on, and the clock will stop. Now all we got to do is connect our redstone. We can place a piece of redstone here, a block here, and redstone coming up into that block. Add redstone to the top of the dropper. And then we're going to run some slabs on the upper half of each one of these blocks. And then all we got to do is run our redstone just like this. And if we run out of room here, depending how big it is, just add a repeater on your last spot. Now just go ahead and turn on your lever. And we've got a 3-second clock. Now, if you don't want to hear the music, you can always just turn it off in the settings. And finally, what you can do is place a hopper going into this dropper like so. And then a chest on top of that hopper. And if you want, you can even put a double chest in. Again, this is non-stackable items, so let's get a couple non-stackable items and show you how this works. We were going to give them some non-stackable items and fill up some of our items in here. And then once we got everything in our chest ready to run, we go ahead and turn on our lever. Begin to get shot out through. And if those allays see the item, they'll pick it up. If it doesn't belong to them, it'll just flow right to the end and go into the overflow chest. And over here we got our repeaters. We have our totem separated, our bucket of water, our bows. So what I'm going to do is expand this to 50 allays. All right, turning on the levers for the multi-item sorter and the non-stackable item sorter, we can take the tour of the ultimate automatic storage area. Here's the bulk storage area. Here's our multi-item sorter area. And finally, here's our non-stackable item sorter with our allays. Alright, I hope everybody had a great day. If you enjoyed today's video, go ahead and hit that like button, smash that subscribe button, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.